Keep your radios locked to the hottest radio show on the airwaves. Chi-Town Urban Radio.
Hey, y'all out there. This is Deon McCarthy, and I'm rocking with DJ Malone.
Yeah, dig.
I would soon be trained to spot that brown round hat a mile away with respect-covered fear for its wearer. The bus doors opened. He stepped up, but he was too big to come all the way in. I felt the entire bus lean and squeak just from his weight. The Hulk looked at us in a moment of silence. He closed his eyes for a second as he took in a deep breath. He raised his right hand with his fingers joined straight and yelled, "Get the fuck off my damn bus. Now, now, now." Holy shit, he's going to kill us. My legs are betraying me and just wasn't listening to my brain in a silent protest. The Hulk must have read my situation as he yelled, "Move, move, move. Get your asses in gear, hurry up, privates." My rebellious legs responded to him, even though they had betrayed me. We all were pushing and shoving each other to get out of this damn bus. Getting out the bus became the most important thing in life right now. You better not be the last one off the bus, Private.
It's the one and only DJ Malone, man. How you guys doing, man? Midwest Fleet Radio, Chi-Town Radio, however you guys are doing today, man. Christmas is almost here, and I'm trying to tell you guys because I ain't gonna lie to you. I have yet to do any shopping for anybody. So if anybody asks me, I haven't did anything yet. So I'm not even the last minute type of guy. It's just it's Christmas is just creeping around. But I wanted to get you guys a good stocking filler for anybody who's really good at who really likes to read, and I really am in likes of this guy, and he's gonna talk to you about his book, man. And he's from the city like I am. So we got Deon McCarthy, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
How you doing, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Always blessed, always happy.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Now you got this book, top of the line, correct?
No, it's actually Total Line.
Total Line, okay. So let's talk about, before we get into Total Line, I want to talk about you as a person, man. So give my listeners a basic 411 about you.
Well, like you said, I'm homegrown from Chi-Town, from the South Side. Grew up on 71st and Wabash, been all over the city, and just as a teenager going through high school over there in Corliss, and to give a little shout out to Corliss. And, I was going through the course and had a guy there as a recruiter, and I just wanted to get out of class without getting myself in trouble. So I went on and took that little Army test and ended up in the military. It was a good choice for me at the time because, during that time, college was, a far cry from what we were having available to us at the time. So the military was the best choice.
And a lot of people don't really realize this is that for us, and I can relate to you because I'm from that area and stuff like that, is that we don't have a lot of options, to succeed on life. So whenever we think about the military, or people always used to think the stereotypical thing, basketball or music, but sometimes that just doesn't work out. You get what I'm saying? And so I think military is a good option.
Yeah, it was laid at my feet before I even knew that I needed it, and looking back at it, I don't think my life could have went any other way. Definitely, man. Now, a quick Chicago question, man. Do you remember the Moo and Oink off of, I think it was like on 73rd and Stony? Stony? Yep, I sure do.
Now there's a Dollar Tree there now, man. And when I went in there, I was like, yo, they used to kill pigs in here. So I'm like, it's way different from how it used to be.
I remember we used to go up in there just for the air conditioning. You hear me? We used to go up in there had the little plastic doors, and you go through that plastic door, and it was like the Arctic up in there. We used to just walk around just for the free samples and just the AC.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's not the way it used to be, man. Growing up, man, and I used to go to Evergreen Mall, aka Everblack, and I used to go up there on 95th and Western.
95th. Yep, I remember that well. The green tree that used to be up there. I remember the whole thing. Now they got like a Giordano's up there and all that. Okay, I got you.
And now, as a writer, man, does that help or hinder your influences on writing? Because whenever, especially like a city like Chicago, it's always in a state of change. So how do you go about writing in that?
I take a snapshot of the best of times from Chicago. I take a snapshot of all the positive things that I remember from Chicago, and maybe some of the bad things, some of the things that just shaped me into who I am. You know, like in my book, I mentioned Soldiers Field. I've always been a Bears fan, and you know, I've always said Soldiers Field, but I never thought about it until I actually became a soldier. You know, and then it takes on a new meaning. You know, with new experiences that I got, the experiences from hometown Chicago changed a little bit. I didn't see things the same way.
I can hear that because you had a more different perspective from it.
Right.
Definitely. Man.
Right. Like I used to come back and, you know, I say, hey man, I know that guy on the corner. And my brother was like, no, you don't. That guy has only been there for 2 weeks. I was like, he might have only been there for the 2 weeks, but it's the same guy that's been there year after year, different face.
Do you think that's this may go into another Chicago question, but do you think the elevation, there's a lack of elevation there? Because I've done a lot of things in different places, and then when I bring it back home, people are still stagnant. They're still in the same place.
Exactly. You know, if we're stuck in a box and they tell us it's the whole world, you know, we just don't know to push those edges. We just don't know to, you know, there's something more outside of, you know, 71st to the 115th to the Loop. You know, there's more to the world than that. Yeah. And if we don't have someone to journey out and bring that, let's say, bring that water back to us, we never know. Exactly,
man. I definitely, this is a real dope conversation, man. Let's talk about Toe the Line, man. So why the name, Toe the Line?
Well, okay, in the military, we got a term called toe the line, and it's literal and it's figurative, you know, and toe the line is what you can think of when somebody says, hey, I need a bunch of guys to come over here and volunteer for this mission. I need you guys to toe this line, and it's an actual line on the ground. But what I'm trying to do in the book is make sure that people understand that toe the line is not just as physical as you think. It means to just do the right things, toe that line, no matter what. You know, sometimes doing the right thing can be painful. Sometimes it might not be, you know, the popular choice, but it's the right choice. And I want to let everyone know that being a soldier, to toe that line, it's not popular. We don't do it for the glamorous life, and it's definitely not for the money of it. But it's just something that's inside every soldier that makes them toe that line for their entire careers, you know, for the deployments, the being away from their families, the losing friends, and, you know, things of that nature.
I hear that, man. Do you think when I checked out the book and everything, and just listened to the audio sample of it and everything, do you think and this is a non-fictional, correct?
Right. It's loosely based off of me and all the real experiences that I've either seen or done myself.
So that creates the character, and that's what I like about, you know, authors such as yourself, is that they can see things from their standpoint and then manifest it into a whole nother situation.
Yeah, yes, indeed. That's the whole point and the whole reasoning behind writing. Because believe me, writing was not something that I saw myself doing. it was yet another thing, like joining the military, that was just, I dare not say it was a calling, but it's a calling.
Definitely. As far as it was in the book, how long did it take you from actually writing it down and then formatting in a book form, and then taking it to the audio from made to post? How long did it take, and what were the challenges of that process, or if there was any challenges?
Well, okay. Well, let me start from the beginning. The whole reason why I wrote the book is when we retire from the military, we have to write an award for us that spans our entire career. So when I was writing down notes, things just kept flooding back to me, and that sounds like a pretty good book. I make little notes, but when I got really serious about it, it took about 15 months from start to finish. Took about 15 months because it just took a life of its own. I would write a part, and I would remember a part, and I would add a part. And when I add a part, I would remember something else, and it just continued to grow and grow and grow.
Now, because I know a lot of times you write something and then it's like, I don't know, and then you'll write something else and it's like, so how did you know what parts were the best that you said, okay, hey, yo, I really like that, I really want to go with that? How did you know that was the parts, or what did it come naturally to you?
I would say the way I knew was once I wrote a part and I read over it, if it brought about some type of an emotional response from me, and then I knew that that's what it was. If it didn't have any type of emotional kick, so to speak, I took it out. So everything that's in this book is directly, truly from my heart. Not the little stories that may be good at a bar or, drinking with your friends. No. The only stories that are in here are the ones that brings about that emotional change, that growth.
I hear that, man. I like that. My next question would be is, let me ask this, and I know a lot, and I'm not really in the book industry, so I don't know if that's just everybody's doing it, but why the audio? Why bring with the audio, and how hard, well, I guess it wouldn't be hard, but how was that now that you're implementing the audio with it?
It was a natural step in the process, especially during these times with Corona and all that other stuff out here. That more people are going towards multitasking and doing multiple things at one time, and you can't really do that with an ebook, and you can't really do that holding a book. But the audio book, you can have that playing while you're doing dishes, making, dinner, or all those other things. So it was a natural market for that. And, with me, throughout my career, I've always been a narrator for change of commands and things like that. And I've always been told that, you got a good voice. So I researched it. And I asked a few people to narrate for me, but they just didn't do it the way I would have. So I had to get to that point of where, if I want it done the way I want it done, I have to do it.
I like that. Very strong, because nobody else is in your head, and nobody knows the story more deeper than you do.
Exactly. And that process, my goodness, I've read my book at least 5 times out loud, and I really truly got tired of hearing my own voice. To be honest with you, I didn't want to hear myself say anything.
Yeah, and it can get like that because when it's a long journey, but it is paid off at the end because it gets to a point to where it's like, well, I'm reciting and reciting and reciting. But credit to you, that just shows the dedication. You know what I'm saying? Which a lot of people don't have. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give dedication on that.
Oh, well, I appreciate it because it's definitely a leap of faith, and it's nothing like putting your heart into a book or audio book and sending it out to the book verse, so to speak, and hoping people get you, hoping people, feel what you're trying to, what you felt, what you're trying to get them to feel.
Definitely, man. Now, what was one of your favorite parts in the book that really stood out to you?
My favorite part was meeting the drill sergeants for the first time. Just that whole complete shock of it, because at the time, not even my parents talked to me that way. Nobody on the streets talked to me that way. I mean, you know where I'm from. I'm from 71st Street. I'm from Chicago.
If they ain't talking to you that way, that's a sucker.
Yeah, and honestly, and I don't want to get much into race because I didn't put a lot of racial tension in the first book. Now, it will be in further books, but in the first book, I didn't put a lot of racial disparity in there. But it was really my first time dealing with people outside of my race. So not only did this person talk to me in such a way that I've never been talked to before, but he was a person that I've never been comfortable being around, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because and it's like and I explained to somebody the other day, it's like it's the people that are outside my door. The people outside my door look like me, and that's all I see. I tell people a lot of times that the first time I went downtown is when I was 13 or 14 years old. You get what I'm saying? And the diversity, that kind of clamped me up because I didn't know anything. I didn't know who these people are. But once, I learned that once the content of the character signs, that it really doesn't matter. But when you're in the hype of it, in the middle of it, in the thick of it, it's like, oh wow, that's a culture and stock value at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main reason why I didn't put race in there. When I introduced a character, I never said, this is a Hispanic guy or this is a white guy or anything. I kind of left that to the reader to translate themselves. Whatever fits their comfort level. And I purposely didn't put that in there, especially in the military. We come from all walks of life, and we would never meet each other if it wasn't for the military. But we make it work. It's still just the content of a person's character, like you said.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Just one more thing before we get the hell up out of here, man. What do you want people to take away from the book after reading?
Ooh, that's a big question. Well, actually, this book is the first in a series, and the series is called Beginning to Index. So this first book is about the basic training transition. Now, what I want them to get from this first book is just to be able to step outside of what you're used to, that you're more than capable of doing any and everything that you set your mind to, regardless of who tells you can't. And this shows you the transformation from being a boy, thinking boyish things, to being a man and thinking man things. And your capabilities to push outside your own limits. Challenge everything.
I hear that, man. Now with the series, and that gives me another question. With the series, what is the overall take?
The overall take is the first book is about the transition, and the second book is Stay the Course, and that's more or less to, stay the course. It's going to be bumpy. You're going to have your ups and downs, and, things get serious, and just stay the course. And the last book is called Mission Complete, And it's basically a whole totality of first joining the military, becoming a soldier, then learning how to be a soldier, then learning how to be a leader and how to lead other soldiers, other men, and it's just a whole snapshot of a soldier's life. Why PTSD exists, why some soldiers have problems with marriages and families and coping and different things. Just a complete internal look into what it means to be a soldier, what it takes to be a soldier. Because, believe it or not, being a soldier sometimes can be shielded from, those that haven't been in the military. They know we're soldiers. They know it's a difficult life, but what does that look like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? And that's what these books are about.
I like that, man. Giving a perspective on the inside of it, because a lot of people, and I'm putting myself included, a lot of people, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know what it's like to go out there on the front lines and just you don't know the uncertainty of what anything could happen. And with the uncertainty, that could mess with a person's psyche really bad.
Big time. Now, let me tell you this story, and then I guess we can wrap this up. In the second book, I was writing down about a deployment, and during deployments, when we have incoming artillery or whatever coming our way, there are alarms that sound and go off first. And a lot of guys as soon as they hear that alarm, they would kind of nut up. They would just kind of lose their minds. But growing up in Chicago, and you know this to be true, we hear sirens and noises all day, every day, morning, noon, night, doesn't matter. Exactly. And that helped me. So when I heard those sirens, I was like, oh, okay, well, this is home. I'm used to this.
Yeah. And for me, I lived in Houston, and when I moved to Houston, it was different. It was too quiet. I can't handle too quiet. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by quiet is like whenever I go to sleep, it's nothing but crickets. Yeah, and that bothered me for a while because I'm used to hearing sirens, people talking, gunshots, whatever goes on outside. I'm used to that. And so whenever it was quiet, it threw me off.
Yeah, scared of the silence. And we get that from our parents. When our parents be like, hey, them kids are too quiet, they up to something, Yeah. That's what we get.
Yeah, man. Hey, Deon, I do appreciate you stopping by, man. Now, the book is on Amazon and everything where they can find it at?
Oh, yeah, the book is on Amazon, ebook, paperback, audio, and it's on Audible and iTunes. I'm on Facebook. You can reach out to me. And, let's go ahead and grow something amazing for everyone.
What's your, give it the Facebook and everything so they can find you?
The Facebook page is Total Line, is Beginning to Index Total Line, and it's on Facebook. And they can
Instagram?
Instagram is just it's Total Line on Instagram. Yes, sir.
Definitely, man. Well, I'm definitely going to follow and everything, and I'm definitely going to check the book out, man, and support it. And I'm always, big supporter of people just from the city, period, man. So I'm back in the city right now. Just I'm up north. I finally made a goal out of mine, and I'm up north now. So I'm here doing this radio thing right now. So
I got you on the Cubs.
Yeah, I'm over here off of Sheridan.
Oh, got you. Got you.
So it's completely different. It's completely different from the south side. But it's always been a goal of mine to move up north. And when I got this radio opportunity, that was my saying, okay, hey, I'm gonna do that. Now I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, but at least I made it to my goal.
Well, my brother, I really appreciate you. I'm proud of what you have accomplished and all that you're doing and continue to do.
Definitely, man. And you too, man. And my salute to you on your book. My salute to you on just, serving our country and everything else like that. Make sure you guys check out Deon McCarthy. Deon, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, too.
Keep it live.
Yo, this is Travis Scott. It's your boy, Lil Baby.
This is Drizzy Drake.
With Chi-Town Urban Radio.